Today, we're doing something a little different. Instead of looking at an entire novel, we're going to dive deep into a single, absolutely brilliant chapter set in 1943. It's a perfect snapshot of the American home front, and it tells a story so rich and so complex, it really deserves its own close look. We're going to unpack how this one chapter pulls together all the tensions of the era. It's really something special. And this is what's at the very heart of it, this incredible contrast. On one side, you've got the cold industrial reality of war, which is summed up perfectly by this phrase, special treatment steel. And on the other side, you have the warm, familiar, almost sacred tradition of an Italian-American family meal. What the author does so incredibly well is crash these two worlds together in one evening, creating this friction that you can just feel off the page. So the chapter kicks off right in the thick of it, the Boston Naval Yard. You can almost hear it, right? The clang of hammers, the hiss of welding torches, it's the engine of the war effort. And right in the middle of it all is a troop of Boy Scouts. They're on a very special tour of a brand new heavy cruiser, the USS Boston. This is their first real look at what war actually looks like. Okay, and this is where the tour gets serious. Their guide, a man named Mr. Telford, he points to the side of the ship and starts talking about its secret armor, this special treatment steel. He's sharing classified military information with a bunch of 12-year-old kids. He's not just showing them a boat, he's letting them in on a secret that's vital to the ship's survival. And this quote, this is the moment everything changes. Telford looks at these boys and tells them that this secret is a sacred trust. He basically deputizes them. Suddenly, they're not just kids on a field trip anymore. They're the outer layer of that ship's protection. Just imagine the weight of that landing on your shoulders when you're 12. It's a heavy, heavy burden. So, right as this huge new responsibility is sinking in, the whole narrative just pivots on a dime. One of the scouts, a boy named Buddy, just pipes up and invites everyone to his grandmother's house for spaghetti and meatballs. And just like that, with one simple question, we're pulled out of this cold, gray world of military secrets and dropped right into the warmth of a family kitchen. And the author's writing here is just incredible. You feel the shift with all your senses. You go from the smell of salt and steel and the sound of hammers to the aroma of garlic and tomatoes, baking bread, and the musical sound of people chatting in Italian. It's this complete journey from the very masculine world of the shipyard to the deeply feminine, nurturing world of Boston's North End. And where they have this meal is so important. It's not just a home, it's the basement of a church that has been the absolute center of the Italian immigrant community for decades. This place isn't just a dining hall, it's a sanctuary. It's a place where faith, family, and food are all woven together, offering this little pocket of stability and tradition while the rest of the world is at war. So now picture this scene. In the same room, you have these two completely different conversations happening at the same time. The adults are at their table talking big picture strategy, geopolitics, the Trident Conference, the bombing of Sicily. And then you have the boys, huddled together, whispering about the things they just saw, the ship's massive guns, the bridge, and reminding each other, loose lips sink ships. And the way the boys talk is just so real. They're trying to comprehend the sheer scale of the technology they just witnessed. Buddy wonders if the guns could reach his own house. It's how a kid tries to make sense of something so huge and terrifying by bringing it into his own small world, all while trying to honor their new secret responsibility. And then this. While the men are talking about the bombing of Sicily like it's a move on a chessboard, Buddy's grandmother, his Nonni, brings it crashing down to a devastatingly personal level. Her sister lives there. Suddenly, the war isn't an abstract concept anymore. The human cost is sitting right there at the table, her heart broken for her family and her people. It's an absolute gut punch. At this peak of tension with all these currents swirling in the room, the author slows everything down for this one beautiful moment. One of the boys, Michael Cormier, just stands up and raises the three-fingered scout sign. And the whole room, all the chatter, all the anxiety, it just stops. A 12-year-old boy brings the entire room to a reverent silence. You know, Michael's prayer is just so profound for a kid his age. He doesn't pray for victory or for the destruction of the enemy. He prays for the strength to carry peace in our hearts, even in a time of war. Think about that. After seeing the most destructive thing he's probably ever laid eyes on, his instinct is to pray for inner peace. It's just an incredible moment of grace. And the evening ends with such warmth. As the boys leave, Nonni and her friends don't just say goodbye. They send them off with a blessing. Andiamo con Dio. Go with God. It's so much more than just a farewell. It's a genuine prayer for their safe journey home. A beautiful act of hospitality that seems to rise above all the unspoken fear in the room. But, and this is what makes the chapter so brilliant, that warmth doesn't resolve the tension. It's still there. These boys now know about the very weapons that could bring more destruction to the homeland of the women who just fed them with so much love. The boys hold the secret of the steel, while Nonni holds the fear for her family. They're all in it together, but on completely opposite sides of the same terrible equation. And that leaves us with this really big, uncomfortable question. The Scout Law says a scout is reverent, but what on earth does reverence even look like in a moment this complicated? How do you hold the secret of a weapon and the love of the people it might harm in your heart at the same time? The chapter doesn't give you an easy answer. It just asks you to sit with that complexity. And honestly, that's why it's a piece of writing you just have to experience for yourself.